Going to a football match in the middle of pandemic feels like an undergoing endurance test in a reality TV show. A pre-match message instructs me to arrive at Hampden Park in Glasgow 3 hours before Scotland kick off against Czech Republic. I must wear a mask at all times. I must take in all food from my microbag into plastic bag provided by the stadium. And all the catering allowed will be shot. So no rancid burgers or cartons of La Pepsi to keep me going. When I immediately turn off the stadium 3 hours early, the crowds are predictably sparse. The park outside the ground will floor with supporters wrapped in Scotland flag look like a tempting alternative. But when I suggest to Stuart that might go get a drink ahead of the game, a look of concern crosses her kindly face. Be careful which pub you're going to, she said. They will see you coming. What is she referring to? Could it be the Dunce book bag A4 side that I'm clutching? I have given my spare ticket to Rear Scott, my friend Alistair, who is from Edinburgh, so also not 100% at home in Glasgow. We decided to take the advice and skip the pub. Inside the stadium, we encountered a fan in the largest turtle suit I've ever seen, including a tiny tartan cloth bag. I posed for the photo with him and he tells me, I had it tailor-made, son. It fits me like a glove. It is not just COVID regulations that make this unique and peculiar football tournament. Euro 2020, as we fasted in distant calling, has also become into the culture war. The football team are the symbol of the nation, but that is not a straightforward task at a time when national identity is so fiercely contested. For Scotland, the pressing issue is independence. For England, it is race. English football team has decided to take the knee before matches as a protest against racism. But each time they do it, they are booed by a significant section of their own supporters. Even the government seems uncertain about to respond. After hesitating for a while, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, condemned the booing and urged them to get behind the team. But two members of his cabinet, Jacob Rees-Mogg and Priyal Patel, defended the protest, with Rees-Mogg suggesting that the protesters are not expressing racism but condemning the Marxist of Black Lives Matter movement. Patel, Britain's Home Secretary, was accused the player of indulging in gesture politics. Players from the England team whose pre-game press conferences are normally confined to discussing tactics, injuries and the atmosphere inside the camp are now being asked to wear Home Secretary. It would be natural to assume that cabinet ministers are better at politics than footballers, but the Johnson government has reason to be worried of the collapsing of the England team. Last year, it went down to an ignominious defeat when it took on Marcus Rashford over the extension of free school meals for poor families. Manchester United and England forward mobilized 1 million signatures behind the petition and forced the Johnson government to change tack. The 20-year to change tack. The 23-year-old Westbrook preparation for Euro 2020 defended fan who visited preparing for Euro 20, including a Zoom call with Barack Obama, while plenty of tourists are prepared to grumble about the work in Westbrook. No one was willing to take him in public. The culture wars over football are not just happening in Britain. The multiracial Belgian team took the knee in Russia ahead of their opening game. They were also booed by the crowd. Doubtless Russians also protesting against Marxism. Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, one of the host nations for Euro 2020, has defended fans who boo visiting teams that take the knee, saying that Hungarians see the gesture as a provocation. Orban is himself a right-wing provocateur who has become a hero to the Trumpist right in America by issuing frequent warning about the alleged dangers of Europe being flooded by Muslims. But even some moderate conservatives are uncomfortable about football taking the knee. One prominent Tory thinker in Britain announced to me that football is to win a political space, but now the national team has become a source of division. I can see what it means. This year's tournament inevitably brings back memory of Euro 96. Euro 96, when England also played their games at Wembley, and the whole country did seem to get behind the team in an uncomplicated sort of way. Back then, packed the stadium, all joining the theme of Sweet Lion, football's coming home. Now the stadiums are largely empty and some of the home crowds are actually bring the players. But as somebody who has been to many England games over the years, I know that the idea that team was never mixed up with politics or race is an illusion. 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 England games have always attracted a substantial number of Saudi hooligan and Barbary supporters, whose trademark chant is "No surrender to the IRA." At the last European Football Championship in France in 2016, the ugly situation of English football hooliganism emerged. When I remarked to another fan that I hadn't particularly enjoyed being caught up in a near riot outside a bar in Marseille, I was told curtly, "If you don't like it, you should stay at home and watch the game on television." Football ground in the 1970s were also where I saw the most over racing that I ever witnessed. It was routine to see black players bark Bibles and monkey noises. The football authorities and commentators were silent about this for many years. So if the national side felt they want to make a statement, well, very hard to that will bring policy into an political space. But now the national team has become a source of division. Now and it became source of division. Authorities and commentators silent believe then. Like this job between that no surrender, far by support. Still, I largely am to somebody who has been to many England games of the year. I know that title, the ticket was them England game have always open trading channels and of the last year, the which are football. And to another fan that I don't usually, but I'm sure that I will also wear so the most of race ever. Just a black flag. The football authorities and commentators were silent about this for many years. So if the current national side feel they want to make a statement about racism, it is hard to accuse them of bringing politics into the public space. The particularly racial politics, have always been there. The identity issues are rather different for Scotland. Euro 2020 comes as the Scottish government is ramping up to enforce second independence referendum. This is the first major international tournament the team has qualified for since 1998, needing fitting the narrative on national revival. Arriving in Scotland for the Scotland side, they lined up to play Brazil. For the first game of the tournament. Arriving in Scotland for the first game of the tournament, I find the local paper full of optimism. In recognition of the enormity of the occasion, the Scottish government has even allowed school staff lessons to allow the kids to watch the game to allow the kids to watch the game against Texas live. As a visiting English fan, I wonder how I feel about all this. I grew up supporting Scotland in big international tournaments. I had little option since England failed to qualify for the World Cup of 1974 and 1978. But British identity was less complicated back then. The anthem played for the Scotland side that lined up to play Brazil in 1974 was God Save the Queen, although two recordings on the show the Scottish player looking particularly delighted. Today, the crowd and team will be belting out Love Scotland, loud enough to drown out the conversation. Drown out the conversation. Loud enough to drown out the conversation. Today, the crowd and the blood disturbing the guests when Scotland qualified for the World Cup 1973, were more than 90,000 people inside Hampton. But today, thanks to COVID, it's a little over 9,000. Far from the joyous return to the big time that has been advertised, it was pretty black and lonely up in the stands. Lonely up in the stands. Even if the Tartan army has been reduced to little more than a couple of battalion, they built up Love Scotland loud enough to drown out the conversation. The team started the game with all the expected passion to for their captain Day Robertson can be seen gesturing to his player to calm down. Then the Czech score and the air sucked out of the stadium. At halftime, which I choose spend the toll in the next to the hand dryer, the warmest spot in Hamden. There is hopeful chatter around that Scotland might be able to turn this round. But early in the second half, two goal stories made by the Czechs. Patrick Schick, the team centre forward, gets the ball on the halfway line and floats ball over the Scottish goalkeeper into the net. It is one of the most brilliant goals any of us will ever witness. Ever witness. Ever witness. The crowd is now almost totally silent, apart from a tiny group of cheering Czechs on the other side of the stadium, and a group of children near me who continue happily shouting for Scotland. while the adults were around them watch frozen in horror. After the match, Alastair reminds me that Scottish fans are used to bitter disappointment. Making the national football team a symbol of the nation is double-edged sword. I double-edged sword. We imagine them scoring wonderful goals and celebrate the fan. But what if your goalkeeper blundering flow on his back and tangled them in the net? Euro 2020 has already delivered humbling setback for two football-mad populist leaders. Orban gave permission for a capacity crowd to attend Hungary's opening games in Budapest against Portugal, only to see the nation side lose 3-0. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, president of Turkey, traveled to Azerbaijan and sat in a place of honor next to Azerbaijan, from where he was able to see Turkey go down to a 2-0 defeat against Wales. England fans also have a habit disappointing their most ardent fan. The side often portrays an embodiment of what we like to believe are national characteristics: courage, calmness under pressure. In fact, as a recent piece by John Liu in The Guardian pointed out, England uniquely bad at holding a lead in a tournament. The numbers seem to suggest they might even be bottlers. England are uniquely bad at holding a lead in a tournament. The numbers seem to suggest they might even be bottlers, and they all have the French and Italians are much England managed all has England are much better at holding their own when they take a lead. If Southgate, the England manager, can somehow break this cycle and turn England into winning outfit, he will inadvertently provide a huge boost to Johnson government that is desperate for symbol of the success of Brexit Britain. So Southgate has subsequently but unmistakably positioned himself to the left of the government on taking the knee. He leads a multiracial team and has reluctantly defended the right to make statements other than on subjects other than football. It has become accepted wisdom in Britain that culture wars always work better for the right than the left, but football may be an exception. All poll taken across Europe before Euro 2020 showed 54% of English football fans supported taking the knee, with 39% of polls. If the England team keep winning, the number in favor may rise, along with the team's popularity. But once the right may find itself on the wrong end of culture war for the duration of Euro 2020, I will care much less about who wins the culture war than who wins the tournament. Who wins the tournament? Mm, who wins the tournament? It's taking place in the middle of pandemic. The stadiums are quarter full, and England are playing half decently. I am allowing myself to further read this outcome of the lot on England victory.